Welcome back to Face the Nation. We continue our conversation now with Congressman Michael McCaul, the lead Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Let's pick back up on the issue of Russia. We're talking about immediate action, potentially. Congress is going away for a week. There are bills before the Senate. I know you're working on one in the House. I mean, do you have that kind of time to play with legislation, or do you need something in terms of a tool set to hand the president more quickly? Well,
time is of the essence. I'm working on a bill I've introduced to get it. We're getting key Democrats on board, and it would be an assistance package of lethal aid to Ukraine. That's important, but what's also important is the message of deterrence. We need joint exercises in Poland, the Baltic states, Romania, Bulgaria, to show Putin that we're serious. Right now, he doesn't see we're serious, and that's why the buildup is taking place. I think this all started, Margaret, with Afghanistan and the unconditional surrender to the Taliban. When he saw weakness, weakness invites aggression. We saw that with Chamberlain and Hitler. You know, Reagan talked about peace through strength. And right now, whether it's, and the thing is, this is not just about Ukraine. It's about China. It's about President Xi in Taiwan. It's about the Ayatollah and the bomb. It's about North Korea that just fired off 2 missiles they said were, these hypersonic weapons. I think this has broader global ramifications. We're seen as weak right now, but because of President Biden, his comments about that a limited invasion was somehow acceptable and that NATO was divided. I think one thing he said was true is that NATO is divided, and that's Putin's goal is to divide and weaken NATO. He's accomplished some of that. Well,
as you know, I mean, this has been going on since 2014, and during the Trump administration, there was some accommodation, at least in language, from the former president on whether or not there were hard lines. So Vladimir Putin has been getting kind of a mixed message for some time here. How do you change that? When President Biden, and you just heard Secretary Blinken send that message that they're willing to have reciprocal restrictions on military exercises or on placement of missiles. Is that kind of accommodation weakness to you?
Well, look, let's talk about Nord Stream 2. Biggest concession ever.
This is a potential gas pipeline from Russia to Germany.
Putin's pipeline into Europe. Congress passed bipartisan mandatory sanctions to stop that from happening. We have a presidential waiver. That's very normal. We never dreamed that a president of the United States would waive that in the national interest of the United States. How is that in the interest of the United States to allow Putin to dominate Europe's energy supply? And then at the same time shutting down Keystone and not allowing the United States to be the leader in energy, LNG, which is cleaner than Putin's dirty energy, from getting into the region. I think this president has made so many concessions with nothing in return. That's why Putin smells weakness. He's wanted this, as you and I talked about, for a long time. It's his legacy issue. And if we don't provide that deterrence, he will go in.
Well, the Germans have sort of been uncomfortable with the idea of moving on Nord Stream, and the administration is saying they're waiting on that. On the other risk here, we have midterm races coming up. In 2018, the United States took offensive action against Russia to stop them from meddling in those races. Do we need to see something like that in 2022?
I don't want to see Russia overturning Ukraine's government. I don't want to see any foreign nation adversary getting involved in our elections. But again, pointing from Afghanistan forward, we have sent a message to our adversaries that we are projecting weakness, not strength. One thing Reagan talked was peace through strength, going back to Chamberlain, Hitler. If we're projecting weakness, it only invites aggression. Historically, you know that. And this is exactly, I've talked to the administration. I want to stop this from happening, but I'm very concerned about the aggression that I'm seeing.
Okay. Congressman, thank you very much for your perspective. We'll be right back.